These are two sculptures that my husband Chris has made in order for us to do a fundraiser in his best friend's honor. Jimmy Star died a few years ago and was well known for reaching out and supporting his community. So we wanted to do a fundraiser in his honor. So stay tuned to learn more on how you can get these sculptures. Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary and I'm here today with my husband Chris. Now if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll probably be familiar with a lot of his work. You see, he's the one who has made me all my racks in the fish room, as well as some really awesome fish-related sculptures. It's almost his birthday, and it's a big one. We're turning 40. And if you guys have been at any of my live streams, you know we don't have a whole lot of family, but we have a lot of friends that are really very, very important to us. And for Chris's birthday this year, he wanted to honor a friend of his that he lost a few years ago by creating some sculptures and essentially having folks donate in his friend's honor in order to raise some funds for a cause that was very near and dear. His friend's name was Jimmy Star, and Chris is going to tell us just a little bit about who he was and why we're doing this. This is, if you've ever lost somebody really close to you, you know that it sort of goes in waves as to how hard it is to talk about. Jimmy was an interesting character who not only was a dear friend of Chris's, but they also shared a birthday, and that's part of this story. You want to tell us a little bit about Jimmy?
Jimmy was a Navy-trained welder. He was a Boilermaker. We worked at the same power plant together. We hit it off immediately. We found out we had the same birthday, which is kind of weird because we were very similar people. He had stories upon stories that just could captivate an audience. It was like he was holding court when he was telling a story. Not just with the welding or the work-related stuff, we shared a lot of similar interests. We both rode Triumph motorcycles, just had a lot in common. He was kind of a mentor of mine, showed me a lot of things at work, relating to welding, fabrication, and more importantly, just how to be a good dude, and that's what Jimmy was. He was just a good guy. I found out at his funeral, almost everyone you talk to considered Jimmy their best friend, which says a lot about a guy. If everyone says Jimmy was my best friend, what more could you want,
And one of the things that Jimmy was really known for was his generosity. He believed very strongly in giving back to his community and trying to help people that are less fortunate. And his very favorite charity was St. Jude's. Now, St. Jude's focuses on supporting families of children who have cancer, and it's not just their medical expenses. They pay for their travel, they pay for their food, they pay for everything associated with a family who's dealing with really difficult illness. Jimmy died of cancer, and it happened really fast and on Christmas Day, unfortunately. And I think something that Chris likes to do every year is try and honor Jimmy's memory by donating to his favorite charity. So what we would like to do today is sort of use this platform of my new family of you guys to offer you the opportunity to potentially own one of Chris's sculptures by making a donation of $20 or more to St. Jude's in Jimmy Star's name. Now, I've created a St. Jude's memorial page. It's the Jimmy Star Memorial Fund. I'll put a link to that in the video here, as well as in the description and in a pinned comment. And if you're interested in winning one of the sculptures that Chris has made, which we'll show you in just a second, you can simply make a donation of $20 or more. Now, because these are metal sculptures, they're very heavy. I can only ship them within the US, but I think it's important to mention that St. Jude's has a global program. Not only do they work with children from anywhere in the world, they also do a lot of educational outreach in every country. So any support that you make will definitely benefit not only Americans, but everyone in the world. In fact, they make all their cancer research streamlined and available to anyone who wants to see it. So I'd like Chris to show you the sculptures that he's made. And again, I'll put the links to donate to St. Jude's below. And if you're interested in potentially winning one of these sculptures, make a donation between now and February 26th, which is Chris and Jimmy's birthday. And we will pick a winner, and I'll make a special video announcing who that is so that we can get your contact information in order to send it to you. So Chris is going to tell us a little bit about the materials and process that went into making these sculptures. Take it away, Chris.
I like using stuff that people throw away, basically. Just junk. Stuff that's pulled out of the trash, stuff from scrap yards. I buy a bunch of gearboxes and machinery that's broken from work. I pay scrap price for it. And I hang out in my shop and make stuff. So this little guy here, just made out of like bicycle chain, old saw blade, tips of an old wood saw blade for the fins. I have about 1,000 wrenches, so little wrench tails, just some flange nut eyes, real simple. Yeah.
And then he raided my stash of hardscape in order to steal a piece of riverwood and a piece of slate in order to mount it, and I think it came out pretty darn cool, the little school of fish. Now could you tell us about the other one, please?
Again, just some industrial chain with some smaller chain. Not quite sure where I got everything. Old discarded gear, ball bearings from a huge bearing at work that went bad. This was a load securing bar for like the back of a semi truck, like the ratcheting device. Gearbox parts. This is a part from an overhead door. I got that from a local guy that lets me raid his stash of scrap before he goes to the scrap yard. And this was a bottle securing device meant to hold gas cylinders against a wall. It's part of that. Yeah, I just heat, bend, weld, whatever.
And all of these sculptures are sealed as well using wax so that they won't continue to rust, but you can still see all of the process marks that go into creating them. I personally think they're really neat, and of course, you know, I'm a little biased because this is my husband, but it seems like a lot of you have really liked them as well. So we wanted to try and take this opportunity to turn Chris's hobby into a great way to fundraise for his friend. So one of the big lessons I think that Chris seems to have taken from Jimmy, beyond being a good dude, is to really appreciate what you have and to share it with others. And by making these sculptures and making them available and doing it in, you know, doing a fundraiser in this way, we really hope that that honors Jimmy's memory. Because I know that it's still very, very present in our lives every day. As always, thank you guys for your continued support. If you have any suggestions of future fundraisers that you think would be appropriate, be it conservation, local shelters, social outreach, or anything like that, I think this is something we'd try and to do at least once a year, if not several times a year, in order to just sort of foster that sense of taking care of your community. As always, let me know below your comments, suggestions, and questions. Hey, guys. You gonna chew gum?
Nope.
Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and I'm today. Hey guys, and welcome. God damn it.
You're the one that's laughing.
Ready? Are you done?
Alright, go ahead.
Chris is not very comfortable in front of the camera, so I thought I would let him show you his sculptures while he told us a little bit more about Jimmy. Pepper.
I didn't do it.
I know. All right.